Hi guys, it's Joe. How's it going? So I built this Corsair a bit ago and I tried doing something with the wheels and making them flat to show that the plane is sitting on the ground. I wasn't happy with it. I tried repairing it with epoxy putty, but anyways, I went ahead and reached out to Tamiya USA to see if they might be able to help me. It was kind of a shot in the dark. I made sure to include the sprue number as well as the parts number before I sent the email. Wouldn't you know it, within the hour I received a reply back asking for my address to send me the parts. And here are the parts exactly as I had requested. I have one for each wheel. Perfect. I went ahead and used a toothpick to pry off the landing gear. You got to be careful with this because it is easy to dislodge the actual structure, but I was able to get them off. I was just very careful. Next, I removed the rim from the sprue and cleaned it up. I glued the rim onto the wheel using Tamiya Extra Thin, and then I used perfect plastic putty to fill in the gap between the rim and the wheel. And I really like using this stuff because you can dilute it with water and clean it up with water as opposed to using something stronger like a lacquer thinner. The perfect putty has a really fast working time. You can start cleaning it up probably within minutes of using it. It dries really quickly. You can also use a micro brush to get the smaller details done. Once that's complete, I remove from the sprue and I just clean up the parts, the seam line running down the middle of the wheel. And I just want to test fit the wheel at this point, make sure I don't need to add any filler inside of the contact point, but this was fine. And then I put some Tamiya Extra Thin on the wheel where I cleaned it up just to melt any burrs that I may have left behind. And then finally I put some regular rubbing alcohol onto the wheels before priming and painting it. This will give the paint a nice surface to bond to. And I just use regular Scotch tape to assist in the painting process. This will hold down the wheels as I'm using the airbrush. And I'm just using Vallejo black primer since I will be using an aluminum finish on the rims. And make sure you prime both sides of the wheel, obviously. You can also use a regular blow dryer to make the paint dry faster if you're using acrylic. And that's nice when you're trying to work faster. And then I just use AS12 Tamiya bare metal silver. And this worked out great because I feel that I don't have to use a gloss coat before applying the wash into the rim. I like to create a darkened circle around the rim, applying a bit more wash, and this will create a circular line around the rim which will assist in making the painting of the actual tire easier. And now it's just a matter of painting the rubber black or the flat black color onto the wheel. You paint this directly as it's taped down or use a toothpick. And it may take a couple of layers with our acrylic, but it shouldn't take too many since it's a dark color. Once you're done painting, make sure that you put a matte varnish over the top to protect the work that you just did. I just use a dab of crazy glue into the connector point here, and this worked out really well. I felt I just kind of had to get it in place, and after a few seconds it just started to bond right away. You could probably use a filler if you're unable to get the parts to adhere to one another. This side was a little bit looser than the other, but I was able to get it eventually. Also, be careful when you're doing this. You don't want to accidentally touch some glue and then make a fingerprint. Since the glue is not fully cured at this point, this is also a good time to make sure that the wheels are to your satisfaction and leveled to go ahead and make micro adjustments if needed. And after allowing the wheels to dry, the plane is able to stand on its own power just fine. And I am much happier with the way that this looks than the way that I previously had it. I spent a lot of time doing a 2-layered chipping on this to show the primer as well as the bare metal silver, and the wheel imperfection to me just kept standing out, so very happy with how it looks now. And with all of that being said, it's time to place the model back in its case so that dust doesn't collect over it. And I just want to thank Tamiya USA of sending me the parts that I needed to make me very happy with this kit that I built. So thank you to them, and thank you so much for watching my video. If you're interested in a video about how I made this Corsair, let me know.